Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown! 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker and one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
All right, welcome in. Don't Punt Hour. Harrison runs on the ones and twos, as always, on the corner of 1040 O Street. You guys can always join in. Starter Heyman text line, 402-464-5685. And you can put a face to the voice, Facebook, YouTube, X, Allo Channel 961. We got the host, as always, DeMornay Pierson-El on the Allo VIP line. Will they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart? DeMornay Pierson-El, how's it going on a beautiful Thursday here in Lincoln, Nebraska?
Going real well. Just enjoying the night.
Yeah, I was talking to Jay Foreman. He got me inspired to whip out the grill, but I think we're supposed to have like maybe 40-mile-an-hour gust of wind, so we'll wait and see moment. But as always, not here to talk about the weather. There's a lot of Husker football news that just kind of keep coming out throughout the course of the week. He even talked on the Pat McAfee show again today. interesting quotes there as well. We also got some more news about some staff hires, and I think that's a good place to start. They went ahead and they hired the New England Patriots director of pro personnel, Patrick Stewart, as the football's program's new general manager. Thoughts on that? Nebraska taking a page from the NFL, and I think, with the way that NIL and the amount of money that is getting passed around and just keeping it organized, I think it's a good move. But your thoughts on that? They were hiring Patrick Stewart out of New England.
I think that's definitely a benefit. You're hiring a guy that comes from an organization, the past 2 decades that was really, really successful. They find out and figured ways of how to, manage money and keep players and whatnot. And it's a new territory in the collegiate world, but you're bringing a guy who's experienced in the pro world, and that's better for us. So just to understand how things go, so things can be fluid and fluctuate. So I think that's a great.
Yeah, and it just, with the way the college football is going, how many schools are going to follow exactly what Nebraska's doing here? I think we're going to get to a point where, especially when you're looking at the Power 4 schools, the bigger ones, I think we're going to see just about every school go ahead and make a hire like this.
I would say probably so. I wouldn't be surprised if people start, running off with that. Or, it could within the next 2 years, we could see it. But I just think that's the way things are moving. Again, bringing in more personnel who are, I don't want to say more qualified, but just have better experience with this situation to kind of gauge it and kind of, bring everybody up to speed.
Yeah, and then, with looking at this coaching staff, you kind of mentioned it, like the size of this coaching staff at Nebraska, we're adding tons and tons of personnel. How many coaches did you have when you were playing the University of Nebraska? Like ballparking. I'm not looking for an exact number.
Like actual coaches or like included assistant coaches as well?
Assistant coaches as well. Because, Matt Rule was talking, kind of give an example back in the day. It was insane how little coaches they had when they were running those big programs. What was it around when you were there? Because I think we're close to like 90 guys, it feels like, on this Nebraska staff now, counting all the general assistants and everything.
Not including the weight room staff, which typically they are included. I'm talking just football, position coaches and everything like that. Not talking, training staff and everything. Just strictly football. I would say anywhere from 12 to probably 15. Just a shot in the dark of guessing.
Okay, it's not as high as I thought, but it is just crazy the way college football has become such a big business. Happens anywhere. You get big business, all of a sudden more and more workers are employed, and you just get these massive groups, to no fault of Nebraska, but just it's crazy how big these college football operations are getting and how different they really are from the years of the past. So again, we always kind of get to this point, whether you like or don't like the way college football is going, it's clearly just become this massive business, and it's driving a lot of these decisions. At the same time, it also allows you to have a coaching staff as big as what Nebraska has now. We talked about that yesterday. Like, despite hiring all these new coaches, we're not actually getting rid of the guys that were previously at those positions. We're just adding more onto it. And then, of course, we talked about it. Phil Snow as well as added to it. Matt Rule seems like he's about to take the ultimate CEO approach with all of these guys that we've added. Do you like that approach from Rule? Because we kind of heard that about Ryan Day for Ohio State this year, especially with Kelly there, that he was going to be more of the CEO role, and they went ahead and won a college football championship. They still lost to Michigan, but they did win the college football championship.
There's going to be different ways to skin a cat. There are different ways people can take things and learn from. Matt Rule has a job to facilitate the whole program. So if him being in that position allows him to effectively operate that at a better capacity, I think that's great and absolutely. Some people might want to be a lot more hands-on, doing the dirty work, the day-to-day type of stuff. That's just, what they want to do. But if this is what he feels like is the best case scenario to take the next step for the program to take the next step, then absolutely, more power to you.
Yeah, I think it certainly seems like that's the step he's going to take. I don't know if he's actually publicly said, I plan to take a more CEO approach, but when you're bringing in this many coaches, Phil Snow's kind of like the final one for me. It's like, okay, you got another guy with a good defensive background to step in there. It's clearly Dana Holgerson's offense that he's going to be running with some input from Rule. But I'm like, okay, it sounds like you got your defense and your offense covered. So where does that leave Rule? A lot of the CEO stuff. And now you bring in practically a GM as well to figure out all your money. So he is setting himself up to really just be the oversight of the entire operation, and just delegating what feels like every single aspect out. And I'd imagine, as a CEO, just whatever areas he feels weak, that's where he's going to hang around week to week. What do you think his role is going to be on this team? Like, where do you think Matt Rule's strengths lie? If he is going to be the CEO, what are his strengths? Like, I'm still not entirely sure what that looks like at the college football position. We talked about it with Ryan Day, but he wasn't calling the defense and he wasn't calling the offense. What do you think that input looks like from a coach who is taking more of that backseat approach?
He's the peacekeeper, but he's also the judge, jury, and executioner. So again, when there's an issue and everything, when there's an issue or something like that, you know who you got to go see. You know who you got to talk about. Your position coach is going to say something, but it's going to come from him. He's a communicator. I mean, he's very highly spoken well. He's going to make you feel very, very involved. He's going to get through to you and whatnot. He's going to be the glue, and he's not. I don't want to say the overly protective dad and everything like that. I think that's going to evolve because the kids do like to play for him. Nobody's come out and said anything bad or whatnot. So he's the glue. He's gonna make sure things function on a daily basis. You do something wrong, you know who you got to go talk to. You do things right and set examples and everything like that. You know who's going to be giving you praise, not just praise from your coaches and whatnot. But Rule will highlight it, in the media. He'll highlight it, in various types of ways. So I think that's what his role is going to be.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, because the most impressive thing about Rule is really so far it's just been his leadership. We kind of heard that like day one within those press conferences. You get stories like, okay, pastor's son, yep, definitely talks with a little bit of a silver tongue, good at getting his point across, and in some ways criticizing, but still doing it in a respectful way. And, even today in a podcast, apologies, I can't remember. I might have been with Urban Meyer, I believe the podcast he was on. He was talking, even just about the way games are scheduled, and especially in those non-conference games, talking about in the past, we say we schedule Oregon for a non-conference game. Yeah, it's a great game, but now we're at a point with the Big Ten. There's so many good teams in the Big Ten. Plus, you're playing 9 conference games. He just flat out didn't really care what people thought, and it kind of gave more evidence as to why Nebraska pulled out of the Tennessee matchup. He doesn't see any value in that at all. He just thinks with the strength of schedule that the Big Ten has, considering you're playing 9 conference games, and then when you look at the SEC, they're only playing 8. We talk about it all the time. They schedule usually a pretty weak team that second last week of the year. Do you kind of like that mindset of Nebraska? It might not be the most fun not setting up these schedules, but Matt Rule's pretty unapologetic in that podcast with Meyer and simply stating it's not worth it. We'd rather set ourselves up for a better win-loss record than to try to gain a little bit of extra revenue for one of these non-conference games versus another at-large opponent.
I get what he was saying, and I understand that. I still would like, one of those non-conference games, at least a competitive game, or even if your non-conference games, at least make them, somewhat appealing. You could do a Virginia, even if you do a lower level. I don't want to say a lower level. Even if you play ACC team, one of the worser teams from the ACC, because I think you say that now, but strength of schedule is going to come into a play. Look at what they did with SMU this past year. Look at what they did with Clemson this past year of strength of schedule. So it's always going to be there, and it can't just be with the Big Ten. And like the Big Ten isn't going to get the same favoritism as the SEC unless you're Ohio State, Penn State, and maybe Oregon now. That's just what it is. So we don't have the luxury. We don't have. I get what he's saying, and yes, politically correct and understand that. But people are still going to pick apart your schedule, and people are still going to point at those type of things. So I'm not mad at setting yourself up for more wins. I understand the business side of it, but you can schedule a UCF or not a UCF, a South Florida. You can schedule a UVA out of those 3 games. At least somewhat competitive. Don't just fully embark on I don't want to say an easier schedule, because you having that easier schedule when it comes time to power ranking of schedule, that is something that the committee or whoever can hold over your head, and I'd rather you kind of tidy that up. Now, I'm not saying you got to go play, Tennessee. You got to go play Kentucky. I get that. You don't have to necessarily play the heavyweights, but at least play, a somewhat well-matched opponent.
Yeah, and I do like that. Just for the fact you get something out of it, but at the same time, when you play some of those weaker teams, you can at least get your 3rd, 4th stringers in there if you're doing what you're supposed to do. I got no problems with it either way. Like, I understand the fans being a little bit, I don't even want to say upset. I don't think anyone's like upset with Matt Rule or Troy Dannon, for their thinking of this, but I could definitely see, like, as a fan, it's just not the answer you want to hear. But I get it with Matt Rule, and it's just as long as the SEC continues to do what they do, I think it's totally within right of Matt Rule to do, and the rest of the Big Ten schools. Like, don't schedule tough non-con teams. If the SEC is going to play 8 conference game and really scheduling some jokes of teams, and that, I shouldn't call them a joke, but they're just outmatched. They're purely outmatched, and they get second last week to rest up. Meanwhile, the Big Ten schools, they got to play their starters because they're playing another Big Ten team opponent.
Well, honestly, the SEC does play, majority of them, or at least the well-known schools, they do play at least one competitive game. Alabama played Wisconsin this year. LSU played SC this year. So it's not like they're shying away from it. So, can you have 2 easy two easy wins? Yes, absolutely. Can that 3rd game or somewhere in between those 2 games, can one of that be a little bit more competitive to get you ready for the regular season? I'm not saying schedule Louisville. I'm not saying schedule Notre Dame. I'm not saying schedule a heavyweight, but you can take on, an ACC team. You can take on an NC State. You can take on a UVA. You can take on maybe a Virginia Tech. You can take on, one of these newer Pac-12 teams that are coming up. You can take on, I don't want to say a lighter Big 12 team to kind of not get competitive, but you still got to get your team ready for Big 10 play. So I don't think 3 easy games will benefit you holistically the whole year. Now I understand the win total of getting that, but like I said, you could still get jibs because they're all look for a reason to not get you what you are and whatnot. So if you have a weaker schedule, you play these type of guys and X, Y, and Z, because the SEC don't even get that. Like, people point it out, but they kind of sweep it under the rug and on to the next day. It's like, yeah, but it's still Bama. Yeah, but it's still LSU. Mm-hmm. So I get that part of it, but I don't think that's fully beneficial. I would like at least, one somewhat more competitive or around the same skill level or Power 5 team to play, 1 year, and you can decide what that is. You don't have to take, anybody that comes or whatnot. But I think, an ACC matchup of the year, or a Pac-12 or a Big 12 team. I'm not saying you got to be, one of the top 7 teams. You can get, 10, one of the lower 10 teams and just, all right, that's somewhat competitive. They're going to test you at least.
No, if I'm Matt Rule, I don't give a damn about any of that. Like, I just don't. Especially if the Big Ten and SEC get their way in terms of renegotiating the college football playoffs. There's scenarios out with 4 qualifiers. No, I don't think they'll get 4. To be realistic, like, that seems there's going to be way too much pushback, and I think a lot of even fans would look at that as like a gross characterization of like what we consider the best teams in college football, because there's going to be years, and if we do get the magical, 4 qualifiers from the Big Ten and SEC, there's going to be that the few years with that 3 and 4 in that Big Ten or SEC, you're going to be like, I don't know if they really belong, and it's going to be kind of a joke. But I do think they'll get their way, and they'll get at least one more qualifier than all those other conferences. And of course, group of 5 school, they'll get that one in as well. Does that change your mind at all? Like, say they continue to expand that college football playoffs. Is that any more reason like not go ahead and play that Tennessee game? Because now you got 4 qualifier bids. That strength of schedule might not even matter that much as long as you take care of business and get the win.
Then I can see that, and I would understand why you're going why you would do that, and it makes sense because it's you're putting all your eggs and betting on yourself at the Nebraska. That will make more sense, but we're not necessarily there yet.
True.
And it's you can say that, but like I said, you're saying, well, Alabama does it at the SEC do it, but like I said, unless you're Penn State, Ohio State, or maybe Oregon, we don't get that type of love. What other team really got that type of love? Oregon was the number 1 team in the nation, and they got put through a gauntlet. So that just lets you know. Regardless of how you played, who you beat, and whatnot, and everything like that, they still gave the SEC teams a favorable matchup to get to the playoffs. Georgia had to go through Notre Dame or Indiana to get to a final. And Penn State was your last game. I think any SEC team probably trying to play Penn State, they would much rather take that game than going through Ohio State.
Yeah, and
So
go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead. No, that's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like to your point, like Texas, who'd they draw? They got to play Arizona State because they had to bye, and then eventually they had to play Ohio State. But the SEC, outside of Penn State, SEC by far was sitting the prettiest for Georgia in that whole thing, and Alabama was clinging on. I really thought they were going to shove them in there at the very end. I mean, it's just. Do you think that SEC bias is like, how real do you think that is when it came to that college football playoffs? Do you think like the Big Ten and SEC get that same level of respect, especially after what we had this year in the bowl season? And, really Alabama, they kind of crap the bed again in their bowl game this year after not making the college football playoffs. Do you think heading into next year when we get to these rankings, it's going to be a little more fair in terms of the SEC and Big Ten? Because I will say, I just thought last year the SEC was overhyped. And sometimes I say that and I'm wrong. Last year I said that I wasn't wrong. They were. Do you think it's going to be more fair when we look at those AP rankings come next season?
I mean, I don't think the SEC was more hyped. I mean, you had some very, very good teams that cancel each other out. Somebody had to win and lose. With next year, the SEC bias is still going to be there. I think certain teams get that bias. I don't think holistically it's the Big Ten. But I think the fact that we've had 2 national championships reside in the Big Ten gives us more love and to where people have to appreciate kind of like what we're doing. Now you just have to expect, outside of the top 4 teams in the Big Ten to kind of raise the level and play, which I won't say that it hasn't been played well over these past couple of years because it has. But I don't think that the Big Ten will ever get the SEC treatment. Ohio State, they're in their own league of their own. They're the favorite stepchild outside of some of those SEC teams. They'll always be in good grace. They'll always kind of get what they want in situations and everything like that. And kind of everybody else, if you have a good year, we'll see. Because Indiana had a heck of a year, and people are still talking crazy about them.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious to see what Indiana's going to look like next year. I'm not entirely sure how many guys they lost. I know they have a lot of older players. We do got to throw the break here. I'll go to break here on Mississippi Mud Ducks comment because this I totally agree on, and I'll get your thoughts on it as well before we go to break. Because this the whole thing for me is whatever we do, SEC, Big Ten, just get on the same damn page already. That's the stuff that kind of drives me nuts because we have to do these comparisons between these 2 conferences that are supposedly, these are the best of the best too, right? They got the best athlete, the best talent, but for some reason, they set up their conference play a little bit different. When you're going to be the two biggest bread makers and you're going to be the guys pushing the entire thing of college football, I think you guys should just get on the same page. You can still be a little bit unique with what you do. But to Mississippi Mud Dog's point, the SEC should just move to 9 conference games, or we should just go to 8. If we go to 8 like they play, then I'm sure we would play one tough non-conference game like we used to before we went to 9 conference games. So to your point, if we do go to 8, then it'd be something similar to the SEC where we do schedule in a tougher non-con. But when you're in the Big Ten already and you got 9 tough opponents, and on top of that, in the Big Ten, you're going to have some years where you only get 5 home games. In the SEC, I don't think you're ever going to rarely find a team where you only get 5 home games that year. If you at least set it up that way, then it's fair, and then, with the 8 conference games, you can go ahead. If you want to get a tough non-conference opponent, there's room for that there. And I think that would just be the easiest answer. 8 or 9, I don't think anybody actually cares what that number is, as long as those 2 major money-driving conferences, the big business of college football, just get on the same page and make comparison a hell of a lot easier and make the AP rankings easier. I just think that's the way to do it. Whichever one they decide, I don't care. But to Mississippi Mud Dog's point, just make it the same. I think it'd end a lot of these debates that kind of just go around in circles and circles. With that being said, we'll go ahead and throw to our first break here. Dylan Punt Hour, Good Morning Pierson-El on the Allo VIP line. Harrison Arns back here at the 1040 Ticket Studios. Talk to you in a little bit.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. We'll see lots of sunshine, light breeze, an afternoon high around 64. Tonight, mainly clear skies with a light breeze, a low around 40. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies, but it will be breezy. Afternoon high around 65. I'm meteorologist Kyle Hunter for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Water heater gone? Call Bryant. The price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. And in most cases, same-day replacement. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111.
Attention! For the entire month of February, Acres has John Deere packaged oil and filters for 15% off. John Deere engineers its oil filters specifically for large ag equipment and commercial and residential mowers. With premium materials, these filters meet the unique demands of your farm and acreage. Following a strict maintenance routine with premium John Deere oil and filters ensures your equipment will run efficiently for years. Visit your local Acres store to start shopping today.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
There's no place like McKinney's Irish Pub for St. Patrick's Day, so mark your calendars to join in on the fun for their 11th annual Street Festival. The party starts on Saturday, March 15th, with tons of giveaways, a kilt contest, great Irish food, and green beer, and continues on Monday the 17th for actual St. Patrick's Day. Doors open for the bar at 11 a.m. on Saturday and 9 a.m. on Monday, and the street party starts at 2 p.m. both days. Don't miss out on great music and great fun with no cover charge for St. Patrick's Day weekend at McKinney's 8th and P in the Haymarket.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Don't Punt Hour. Harrison Arndt on the ones and twos. As always, we got the morning Pierson-El on the LO VIP line, and you guys can continue to join in as you have done all night long. 402-464-5685. We're going to switch it up. We're going to talk some NBA here because we can even tie it into a little bit of college basketball. I want to continue on the conversation that we had on the previous hour with We Talk Facts with Eric Strickland and Clester Johnson. The morning Pierson-El, if you are building a basketball team in the college, what is the most important thing you're looking for in terms of your roster?
The most important thing?
Yeah, I asked this because there's a strong feature going along with all of the best teams in college basketball and even in the NBA.
I would think athleticism.
What if I told you just simply how old are you and how many years you got under your belt?
Okay, I mean, yeah.
If you look at the age of Auburn, who, I mean, it's fair to say Auburn probably the team to beat in college basketball. They look like the best team in college basketball. Did we lose you?
No, it went out. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, okay. Auburn, fair to say that's the best team in college basketball right now?
Yeah, you could say that. I would agree.
I say that because when you look at the average age of Auburn, it's 23 years old, roughly. That is a bunch of 23-year-olds going out there hooping. They got, a lot of them 5 years of starting under their belt, and there's a reason why they look like a group of grown men amongst boys sometimes out there in the college basketball world. And I do start to think, like, it's not always age, but continuity is that other factor of it. College basketball is a little bit different because I think it's easier to just throw guys together, and if you don't have the star power, we've seen it with teams like UConn, Kansas, even Villanova, where you have that continuity of guys deciding to come back. We even saw it with UCLA for a while where they were making plenty of deep runs. When you have guys that actually come back, it seems like the chances of success are so much higher, regardless if, the other team and say we'll just use Nebraska. Actually, let's not use Nebraska. It's not the best example because we have some good continuity, but this last stretch here, 2 straight losses, not the best look for us. But it does feel like when you have continuity coming back to your programs, it's mattering more and more and more, especially in the era of NIL and the transfer portal just being gung-ho with 2 portal windows that you can figure out what new school you want to go to. And then when you look at the NBA, though, and the reason I ask because it's very interesting, you look at the OKC Thunder and doing what they're doing. What do you just take a wild swing at the average age of the OKC Thunder?
24.
24. Auburn's 23. So we got a college team whose average age is about 23-year-olds. They're the best team in college basketball. But somehow in the NBA, you got a group of 24-year-olds that are clearly one of the youngest teams in the NBA, but they're also one of the best teams in the NBA. And I think the continuity is what's pulling OKC through. And also they got a guy named Shai Gilgeous-Alexander In Auburn, it's simply you just got a bunch of grown men out there playing against 18, 19, 20-year-olds. What do you think the success is for you personally? Like, when you look at OKC in particular, I think that's the more unique example of like, well, how in the world of these guys, especially at the average age they're at, able to do what they do in a league that is truly full of just grown men?
For college basketball first, I think you'll start to see a lot more people stay just because of money. You know, it was about going to the league, getting drafted and playing. In college now they give you money, so I think the appeal of leaving school will drop. You'll have more players stay just because, I mean, again, more money. It's different. I mean, you kind of live how you want to. So of course you have your lottery picks that you. You throw the COVID situation in there and everything like that. People having extra years and not forced to leave. And then just understanding the process of the situation. Again, you have a coach that, seen it, got a group of guys to commit to a goal or whatnot. They're strong. They've been there. They understand things. And, Auburn is what it is because a collective group put, pride to the side and came together and did things as a team, regardless of age. Not their fault. Now with OKC, with them being how they were and whatnot, I think. Come again?
They're 47-11. I'm just laughing. I just how unreal their season is. 47-11 with the average age of 24 in a league with a bunch of grown men.
Well, that team was piecing together stuff a lot before a lot of those pieces got there. So you had a veteran team that had some pieces that showed, some young guys away. They added each year. It feels like they added more to that and whatnot, and everybody put in, and that's the standard. They're taught, what has already been set. So when you have that from young guys that are very capable at playing at a high level, and you hit on these picks and they plug and play and they show up, you have what you have in OKC.
Yeah, and it's clearly like a lot of the picks, and it's some of the best GM work you're ever going to see realistically in the history of the NBA. And that's why I constantly dunk on my own Chicago Bulls for failing to realize if you're going through a rebuild, picks might be an important thing to grab along the way of trading all your best players, which they never picked up the memo on. But OKC, that's exactly what they did. And the Brooklyn Nets, hell, you can throw the Brooklyn Nets out there. They did a really good job as well, racking up picks throughout the years. And then they kind of threw it away with the whole James Harden, Kyrie, Kevin Durant. So they're recovering from that. But at one point in time, I thought they had all their ducks in a row, and that turned into disaster when Steve Nash was the head coach and they gave up on him with, I think they played like 20-some games. It was very early on. They didn't give that guy a shot at all. But when you look at a team like OKC, I think it is that Chris Paul era. I don't think he gets enough credit for how good of a player he made Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Because if you go back to the NBA, when Chris Paul got to the OKC Thunder, remember it was, I believe he's at the Houston Rockets, and it was like, nobody really wants Chris Paul. He's kind of washed, quote unquote. That was the story going around. In my eyes, one of the best point guards that unfortunately just doesn't have a ring. Not going to say he's one of the best point guards today with his age, but certainly at that point in time, he still had plenty left in the tank, and guys didn't want to bite on it. Went to OKC, and according to him, the story was basically like, don't worry, we're going to rest you. It's going to be a load management year for you. We're tanking essentially to get picks. And he said, the hell with that. And they went on a run. He took that OKC team, which really hadn't had any sort of success whatsoever since the whole thing blew up with Kevin Durant, James Harden, Russell Westbrook. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander became one of the best point guards in the league, and is now arguably, runner-up to the MVP. I still think Jokic is the clear choice, but if you want to say Shai Gilgeous, it's not totally outlandish. And Chris Paul was a big part of that. So to your point, that veteran leadership, I think, got there at the perfect time. Transferred to Shai. Shai's clearly the leader of that team, and now they got still more picks up and on the way. So OKC Thunder, 47-11. How much do you like them to win it all this year? Like, is it possible for a 24-year-old average team? I understand they're killing it in regular season. Does that matter when you get to postseason, though? No,
because you can throw it out the window. You can throw it out the window. they're a young team that they went to the playoffs last year. They got good experience. I think that's what it's going to be about, of just understanding the moment and having your body right, having your mind right. So them being more familiar with being there and everything like that, I think they make a stronger run this year. We kind of seen that with Denver before Denver took off. Denver was right on the cusp, and then next thing you know, the powerhouse arrived, and it's like, man, you really look at it, it's like, no, they've been good for a while. They've been sneaky for a while, and just, people haven't been paying attention or not really taking a notice, and then next thing you know, they're a world champ. So I think they're on that same level of just playing consistent, being a strong, postseason team. And they're very close, to turning the page. And if that happens this year or the next year, look out.
Are the Rockets on a similar trajectory? They've fallen off a little bit in this past couple of weeks here. They're 5-5 in their last 10. But at one point in time, they were sitting above the Grizzlies, the Nuggets. I think they might even been number one for just a sliver of time there until OKC took it back. And then obviously Memphis and Nuggets jumped them. But they're only one game behind between that third and second spot in the Western Conference, which I think the Western Conference record right now, it's like 171 to 120 something over the East. Like the West, no surprise, continues to be dominant between the two conferences. Are the Rockets kind of on that same trajectory, you think? Again, rough 2 weeks, but overall, I mean, they're sitting there 37-22 on the year. Another team that not a lot of people talk about. Well, they got a lot of young guys that are starting to find their way.
I think there can be. I'm not going to say they are for sure. You have a coach who built, honestly, a dynasty in Boston. They're getting rings off of what he built. The coach in Boston's job is a lot easier because of what that coach down in Houston built. So give him some more time. Houston is a main attraction city. They have some pieces down there. Guys are going to want to go and play down there and everything like that. So I think in the future that they will definitely be tough to handle. I don't want to say it's too big for them. It's just that they're not there yet. But I don't think they're way far behind. But they're going to have to get talent. They're not quite there. They're not on the OKC type level in the postseason type wise. But again, you let some of those young guys get 2 years in, 3 years in. We could see the same thing. We could see them take off the same way how OKC is taking off.
Yeah, and I think the big part, you nailed it with Ime Udoka, their head coach. Obviously, the whole Celtics scandal. I'm not even going to call it a scandal. Bad look on him. Obviously, clearly recovering for him down there with Houston Rockets right now. And he was a fantastic coach for those Boston Celtics. So, for them to go ahead and grab Ime Udoka, he's a phenomenal head coach. I think that's the other part that, yes, they got some really talented players, but they also got one of the better coaches, I think, in the NBA right now in Udoka. I'd say they're probably like 3 years out, but I can't see this team being just a major pain in the West, especially the way, we've talked about it before. We'll leave them alone for tonight, but the Phoenix Suns, yikes. I think right now they're not even in the, or just dead bottom in the play-in. Let me fact check myself here before I slander them too much. They're out of the play-in right now, all the way down there at 11, 30-28, 6-4 in the last 10 games. Ironically, same record at home as it is on the road for them. Yeah, we'll leave it alone with Phoenix Suns, but you're seeing teams like the Suns, teams like the Mavericks now, obviously, teams like the Warriors, the Clippers. That's a whole disaster in itself. The Timberwolves, a little bit surprised. They're only 32-27. I thought they'd have another uptick here. And of course, you got teams like the Jazz, the Pelicans, Spurs. They might be on the rise as well, but we're kind of in this era in the West where you're seeing a lot of these bigger market teams starting to flail a little bit, and these smaller market teams are taking advantage of it. But the Lakers, of course, the biggest market of teams, they've actually recovered really well since adding Luka Doncic, all the way at number 5 in that Western Conference, 35-21. With that being said, kind of dancing around these conferences here. And in the East, it's Cavs 1, Celtics 2, Knicks 3, Pacers 4, Bucks 5. Won't go any deeper than that. Right now, who's your favorite NBA Finals champion? Who's your favorite, and who do you think the public's favorite is? I'll ask that. That would be a two-pronged question.
I want Dallas to get it just to kind of prove a point.
Plus 6,600 odds for Dallas right now.
I want Dallas to. I want Kyrie to get another one. I really like Kyrie. Public wise, I would say OKC or the Lakers just because it's Luka.
Lakers are actually a little bit further down. I think if they continue to rattle off some wins, they'll keep climbing. Number one is, as far as you didn't say, Boston. OKC is number two, though. OKC is plus 210. To your point, people are thinking they got enough playoff experience. They've taken some bumps and some bruises. Last year, I think, was kind of a shocker for them. I'm not going to hold their age against them either. I don't mind them. They're not my favorite. I'm still going with the Nuggets in the West. The only team matchup-wise that'd be problematic would really be probably the Minnesota Timberwolves again, if they run into that. I think with the Lakers, they caught him in the last time they played once they had Luka Doncic on that team, but give the Nuggets time to adjust and realize, like, okay, this is how the Lakers are going to play us when they have Luka Doncic on the floor as well. So I know they got the last one regular season play, but the Nuggets have absolutely owned them postseason. Who do you got in the East then? You got I know you'd like the Mavericks to win it all. OKC in your eyes for the public. Looking at the East though, who do you like?
And I know they're the number one seed right now. But I think they're going to be a problem for people. I think the Cavs have a strong, and I know what the Celtics just did. Of course, you just said it. I was keeping it on the same side instead of saying holistically.
Right.
Of course, the Celtics I think are definitely going to be in it, but the Cavs have kind of reinvented themselves, and they kind of been in this space for, I want to say, 2 years coming, and this is kind of their coming out part. So I think the Cavs could give them a run for their money. Honestly, I really think they do. They can.
I'm still going to go with Boston Celtics. I'd like to see the Cavs get it done. I like Donovan Mitchell. The only fear I have for the Cavs is those guys are playing a lot of minutes. That's why their record's so good, is they are true believers in like no load management BS, which I respect. At the same time, we'll see if that actually, the teams that do practice load management, it'll be a good case study for myself because I hate load management. But if the Cavs look drained and they really struggle, especially against a team like the Boston Celtics, who's been able to coast in a lot of these games, taking their players out early, not even load management, just by the fact of how dominant they've been at times. I'll be curious to see what that looks like. If the Cavs do run into a wall, run into injury problems. Same thing with New York. Coach Tibbs, you know what he's going to do? You're not getting a break. You're going to play every damn game, and you're going to play a lot of minutes. That's the Tibbs way. It was like that just about every stop he's been at. He's not going to change. So hopefully that doesn't haunt the Knicks again this year. Because if it happens again, I mean, Tibbs is going to get the blame on that. We got to throw it the break here. Don't go anywhere. We might stick the NBA to wrap things up since we got a little bit of time here left. Don't punt hour. Don't go anywhere.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
A veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
A new year means it's time to try new things. If you haven't tried Fierce Cheese Spread yet, the time is now. For the days you don't want to go to the gym, don't worry. Fierce Cheese Spread is there to cheer you up. And for the days you do get to the gym, Why not celebrate when you get back with the best dip around? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Fuhrer's cheese spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
Mulberry Barbecue now has a brand new second location to help all your lunch and dinner cravings. Stop by their newest location at 6125 Apples Way near Lowe's off of Highway 2. They have everything from smoked turkey sandwiches to brisket burritos to burn-in sandwiches and pulled pork. Try a dinner plate option of barbecue nachos, a half-smoked chicken, a full slab of ribs, and so much more. Mulberry Barbecue open Monday to Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 11th and Cornhusker Highway and now at 6125 Apples Way in South Lincoln.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last. Attention Nebraska sports fans, are you ready to take your skills to the next level? The Army National Guard is looking for leaders who are dedicated, driven, and ready to make a difference. Join us and gain invaluable experience while serving your country with a flexible schedule, competitive benefits, and a chance to build a strong future. Learn more at nationalguard.com/Nebraska. Live here, serve here. The Nebraska Army National Guard, guard the good life.
Hey volleyball fans, this is Laura Dijkema, national player of the Netherlands and now the setter on Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering for us in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action. Go Big Green!
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment, Don't Punt Hour. DeMornay Pierson-El on the Allo VIP line. Wrap things up here. We only got a couple minutes, so let's go ahead and hand out some flowers. Let's talk day one of the NFL Combine was today. And we had pretty good results, at least from one guy who we kind of figured was going to be one of the more looked at athletes coming out of the University of Nebraska. And that guy obviously being Ty Robinson. Ty Robinson at 288 pounds today was the best defensive lineman in the 40-yard dash. He ran under 5 seconds at a 4.83 in Indianapolis today. Shocked at all to see Ty Robinson have those kind of wheels on him at 288.
No.
How much you think his draft stock moves up by the time we're done with this combine?
I think a lot. I mean, you had Mel Kiper that had him in the top 5 for his position. So I mean, if he hits his numbers and whatnot, now you make things appealing to where people want to go back and check the film, and that's all you want. And when that happens, again, you can see him being picked earlier than where people thought he might be going at.
Yeah, you know, Mel Kiper, I was thinking the exact same thing. I was like, Kiper already well trusted. He already kind of saw this early. And now you got Ty Robinson. He's like, if you didn't believe him the first time, here's some of the stats to show it. Like, I'm that guy. So shout out to him. I thought, you know, I knew he was fast. I am a little bit surprised he came out on top, though, out of that entire defensive line unit in terms of that 40-yard dash. But that being said, any other guys, you know, in this NFL combine that you're kind of hoping to make a little bit of splash and maybe move up on the draft board?
From Nebraska or just period?
Well, you can go anybody you want, really. Actually, you know what? Let's do this because I think the Nebraska ones are really obvious, and we don't got a ton of time left. Cam Ward or Sanders? Which one gets drafted first? QBs.
Cam Ward.
You know, I'm kind of surprised by that. I've been hearing that a lot. I think that's a mistake, though. How about you?
I mean, they're both really good prospects. I think the takeaway with Shador is you know what comes with him. And let's just say, honestly, my surprise pick, I think Travis Hunter goes number 1 overall. That's just me, period. But you know what comes with Shador. You know his father's going to be in things, and let's just say, you know, Tennessee, first year or first-time head coach, having that type of microscope of things and everything like that to where, you know, potentially you could, everything that you can and say do will be under a microscope. It would be easier just to go another way. Will Levis is there. His first 2 seasons, he's had 2 different coaches. Get him some consistency. I think Travis gives them defensive help and offensive help. So, but I think Cam goes first just because he doesn't have the last name and he doesn't come with all Shador comes with. Not in a bad way.
Right. Yeah, I get what you're saying. You know, it's not I don't think either of those guys are wrong answers. Shador I like more just simply the completion percentage. But maybe if we're looking at the wrong one, like Cam Ward certainly has some like unreal throwing power and accuracy when he's on. So it kind of just depends what you're looking for. If you're going to be like, Shador, he had a worse pocket, he had to scramble a lot more, and he still had better completion, or you like Cam Ward because just the tangibles of what the true quarterbacks in the NFL looked like, he checks all those boxes. With that being said, we got to get out of here. This has been the Don't Punt Hour. Good morning, Pierson-El. Appreciate it as always. We'll talk again on Monday, but that's going to be it for us. Don't go anywhere. No chance of brewing tonight, but I got Jackson in studio with me. We'll do another hour. We'll keep it live here for you guys on Ticket Weeknights. Don't go anywhere.